Okay, so in today's class, so we are going to study regarding the isolation and estimation of the various secondary metabolites or the active constituents. So when coming to the isolation, so it means the extraction, identification and its estimation. So first you are going to extract the active constituents. So then after that you are going to purify the active constituents, then you are going to identify, and then you are going to estimate the active constituents, so like your glycosides, your alkaloids and all. So you already know, so they are present in small quantity in various parts of the plant, and even they are restricted to few plant species, since they are known as secondary metabolites. So they are not present in the whole part of the plant, so hence you are going to take the part of the plant, then you are going to do the extraction by using the various solvents, so depending upon the solubility of the active constituent in the given solvent. So then after extracting, so you are going to purify it to remove the other constituents or to remove the impurities. So after that you are going to identify, so whether what you extracted, that is correct or not. So after that you are going to go with the that is the estimation, so that how much of the active constituents or in what amount you got the active constituents. So like if it is from genuine quality, so you are going to get the high yield of active constituents, and if it is like substandard quality, then you are going to get the less amount of the active constituents. Okay, so first we are going to start regarding the isolation of the glycosides. So in your syllabus, so only two drugs are mentioned. So one is the glycyrrhetinic acid and one is the rutin, or glycyrrhetinic acid and the rutin. So when coming to the first one, that is the glycyrrhetinic acid, so like it is present in the licorice. Okay, so first before starting this, so you should thorough with the property of the glycosides. So what are glycosides? So like they are the organic compounds, so like which contains both the sugar and the non-sugar portion. The sugar portion is known as the glycone and the non-sugar portion is known as the aglycone, right? And when coming to the glycone or the sugar portion, so that is like soluble in water and like alcohol. So when coming to the aglycone or the non-sugar, so that is soluble in the organic solvents, right? Okay, so then coming to the isolation, so first you are going to split or you are going to break the cleavage between the sugar and the non-sugar. So just you are going to take down the non-sugar or the aglycone portion, so because that possesses the pharmacological or the therapeutic property. So in coming to the glycone, the sugar portion, so that you are not going to take, so or so like that is not beneficial, so just that is going to facilitate the absorption of the drug, since like it is not required. So just first you are going to cleave or you are going to break the bond between the that is the sugar and the non-sugar portion, so by the enzyme hydrolysis or by the acid hydrolysis. So first you are going to break down the bond, so then you are going to extract the non-sugar portion, that is the your glycosides or the aglycone portion. So in coming to the isolation, so general for glycosides, so first you are going to treat the drug with the alcohol or water. So then after that you are going to filter it, and then you are going to treat with the acid, so that is going to break the glycone and the aglycone portion. And when coming to the extraction, so you are going to use the water or the alcohol, so that is going to remove the other substances. So just it is going to extract the glycosides, and apart from that it is going to break the, or it is going to cleave the various enzymes which is present in that. So after that you are going to treat with the acid, so that acid is going to break the glycone and the aglycone portion, and you are going to get the aglycone in the acid form. So then after that, by using any of the organic solvent, because you already know aglycone portion is soluble in the organic solvent, so easily you can separate out the aglycone portion, so then you can go with the purifications. So that is the general method of the isolation of the glycosides. So in coming to the isolation of the glycyrrhetinic acid or glycyrrhetinic acid, so this glycyrrhetinic acid, so it is present in the plant that is known as the licorice. So it is present in the roots and the stolons of the licorice plant, that is the Glycyrrhiza glabra, so which is belong to the family Leguminosae, that is commonly known as licorice. So it contains the sweet component, that is the triterpenoid, triterpenic saponin glycosides, that is the glycyrrhizin, so which is the potassium and calcium salt of glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, so when you are going to hydrolyze, so it is going to converted into the glycyrrhetinic acid, and the glucose will be converted into the gluconic acid. Okay, so when coming to the isolation part, okay, so like there are various method as I already discussed. So there is not like specific method for each and every that is the active constraint. So you can go with the any of the isolation method. So when coming to the isolation of the glycyrrhetinic acid, so in this, so you are going to take the crude drug, or you are going to take the roots and the stolons, then you are going to powder it. So then you are going to extract with the chloroform. Okay, so like just to remove the other impurities or the other constituents than the required, that is the glycyrrhizin. So after that you are going to discard the chloroform layer. So then you are going to treat that extract with the sulfuric acid, so that is going to cleave the glycosidic linkage. So once the glycosidic linkage have been cleaved or it has been broken down, the sugar and the non-sugar is going to separate, as well as the aglycan portion is being converted into the acid. So like the glycyrrhizin has been hydrolyzed and it has been converted into the glycyrrhetinic acid, and when coming to the glycon portion, that the glucose, it has been converted to the gluconic acid. So then you are going to separate by using the chloroform again, so because it is having the solubility for the aglycan portion. So when coming to the second method, so in this method, so just you are going to extract with the boiling water to isolate the glycyrrhizin. So then the aqueous extract, so what you are going to get, you are going to dry it, and so then you are going to dissolve and you are going to acidified with the HCl. So again it is going to cleave the glycyrrhizin into the glycyrrhetinic acid and the gluconic acid. So then after that you are going to separate out, and then you are going to neutral, then you are going to wash, and you are going to dry it to get the glycyrrhetinic acid. So simple. So just you are going to treat the licorice powder with the acids, so that is it is going to break down the linkage and it is going to convert the aglycan, that is the glycyrrhizin into the glycyrrhetinic acid. So just you are going to separate the glycyrrhetinic acid, so you are going to dry it. So like this is the isolation method. So then you are going to go with the chromatography and all for the purification. So next is its detection or its identification. So when coming to the identification, so you are going to go with the various chemical test. So like the test for the sterols, like the your Lieberman-Burkert test or trichloroacetic acid test, and apart from that you can go with the TLC. So in this TLC, so you are going to take the standard, so you are going to dissolve 1 mg of the glycyrrhetinic acid in 1 ml of methanol and chloroform. So when coming to the stationary phase, you are going to take the silica gel G. Okay, so when coming to the solvent system, so you are going to take down the toluene and the ethyl acetate in glacial acetic acid in the proportion of 12.5 to 7.5, 0.5. If you are going to take in 10 ml concentration, then it will be like 6, then 3.5 and 0.5. So like that you can take. So when coming to the spraying reagent, so here you are going to use the vanillin sulfuric acid or anisaldehyde sulfuric acid. So then you are going to heat the TLC plate, and so once it is going to give the purple spot, so which is having the RF value of 0.41. Okay, so simple. For the standard, you are going to take the glycyrrhetinic acid and you are going to dissolve in 1 ml of methanol and chloroform. So when coming to the stationary phase, you are going to use the silica gel G plates. When coming to the solvent system, so you are going to use the toluene ethyl acetate and the glacial acetic acid in the proportion of 12.5 is to 7.5 is to 0.5. So when coming to the spraying reagent, so here we are going to use the vanillin sulfuric acid or anisaldehyde sulfuric acid. Then you are going to heat the plate for 10 minutes at 110 degrees. So you are going to get the purple spot which is having the RF value of 0.41. So when coming to the estimation. So you are going to use various methods like the TLC densiometer, colorimetric method, UV spectroscopical method, HPLC method, HPTLC method, and various GC method, and various methods you are going to use. So just you can write any of the one method. So like here we are going to use the colorimetric method. So in this, the glycogen, so it is going to give the purple color. So in the anisaldehyde and H2SO4 reagent, so this form the basis of estimation. The intensity of the color developed it is compared with that of the standard, and you are going to measure at 556 nanometer. So simple or similar to your colorimetric estimation which you have been performed in your second year, that is in biochemistry, that is the DNSA method. So you are going to compare the intensity of the color with that of the standard at 556 nanometer. So in coming to the uses of this licorice, so or the glycogen, so it is having the demulcent property, anti-inflammatory property. So it is used as the flavoring agent, sweetening agent. So it is having anti-tussive property. So it is used as expectorant. So it is having antibacterial property, and apart from that it is used in the treatment of the gastric and the duodenal ulcer. So it is having the anti-spasmolytic property. Okay, so next is the isolation of the rutin. So like similar to your this glycogen, so even the rutin, so it is also a glycoside, that it comes under the category of the quercetin glycoside. So it is distributed in the various species like the Saporia japonica, so the Leguminosae family, then your tobacco, that is the Nicotiana tobaccum, Solanaceae family, or the buckwheat, that is the Phagopyrum eucalyptum, that is the biological source. So it is like we are spread in the various species. So when coming to the uses, so this rutin, so it is having the antioxidant property. So it is used in the treatment of arthritis, and as well as it is used in the treatment of capillary fragility. Okay, so when coming to the isolation, so you can go with the general methods, that the simple. So first you are going to boil with the alcohol or water. You are going to take down the filtrate. So then you are going to treat the, okay, so with the that extract you are going to treat with the sulfuric acid. So then it is going to convert that into the that is the acid form. Then you are going to separate it. So like that is a general method. And like the one more method, so in this, like you are going to take down the leaves of the buckwheat, and you are going to transfer that buckwheat leaves into the stainless that is the steel vessel, and so you are going to add the isopropyl alcohol. So then you are going to heat the with the so you are going to boil it for 10 minutes. So after that you are going to so filter the extract, the mark which is left out. So further you are going to extract with the isopropyl alcohol, so for the further extraction. So then you are going to combine the extract, and you are going to concentrate. So means you are going to boil the extract, so again to reduce the volume. So then you are going to wash the mark, and you are going to combine all the marks. Then you are going to cool at the temperature of 5 degree. So once you are going to cool the rutin, so it is going to form the crystals, or it is going to crystallize out, and for that you are going to allow it for 1 hour for the complete crystallization. So once the crystals are being formed, you are going to collect the crystals, you are going to filter, and so you are going to by washing with the cold water, and you are going to isolate, and so you are going to dry it to the 110 degree Celsius, so for removing of the moisture. So again you are going to dry. So simple. So treat with the isopropyl alcohol, so means you are going to boil with the isopropyl alcohol, so for 10 minutes. So then you are going to take it out, the hot extract, filter it out. Then you are going to add the ice, or you are going to keep it in the freezer, so for 5 degrees Celsius. Then the rutin is going to crystallize out. Then you are going to allow it to stand for 1 hour, so till all the rutin is going to crystallize out. Then you are going to take down the crystals. Again you are going to dry it for 110 degree to remove the moistures. Then you are going to so purify it. So when coming to the identification, so with the aqueous solution of rutin, so once you are going to treat with the ferric chloride, so it is going to give the dark green color. Okay, so you can go with the one more method, that is the TLC method. So in this you are going to use the standard or the sample, that is 1 mg of rutin in 1 ml of methanol. So in coming to the stationary phase, so you are going to use the silica gel G. So when coming to the mobile phase, we are going to use the 10% sodium chloride solution. So when coming to the color spot, so you are going to get the yellow color spot, so which is having the RF value of 0.43.